Yay. Welcome everyone to let's see now. Welcome everyone to Original Holistic Health Talk. And I'm here with the one and only Commodore Jeff Zambello, my co-host, and I pipe him aboard. Arr. Welcome aboard. Hey, hold on. Why I keep on going blurry? That's the automatic focus, or as I call fuckus, the automatic fuckus. I'm gonna have a sip of my chai tea here from the Dollar Tree mug that I've had for several years. You never know. You never know what bargains you're gonna find in a dollar store. So how?
I love the dollar store.
Oh yeah, you never know. You gotta really be able to separate the junk from the quality stuff from the bargains. Yeah, it takes an educated consumer to decide. But as a minimalist, as a Sigma male, you have the willpower not to buy unnecessary things that you don't need.
Right.
Because then you have clutter. And
That's
clutter,
right.
And clutter, according to ancient Chinese feng shui, is bad luck.
Clutter, and plus, then you got to devote resources to either store that clutter or walk around the clutter, or
have a yard, have a yard,
energy drained.
And that's why people have yard sales.
Yeah,
because they're impulse buyers and they just spend, and they have too much. But this is our special holiday season show 2023. So I want to wish all of our fans, all of our viewers, a happy holiday season. Hail Krampus Day.
That's right.
My mentor.
Krampus is the best.
Festivus for the rest of us, and also Winter Solstice Yule. And I am happy to announce that I did not deal with any stress and crazy retail store shopping because I got everything on Amazon Prime with free shipping, and everything I bought for the holiday was delivered to me, so I did not have to deal with any Christmas shopping insanity. So I gotta a salute technology. Sometimes it does make our life better. Unfortunately, the new humanoid robots are gradually replacing us people in the job market, and they are getting very sophisticated very fast. But I just want to start off the show with, for those of you that are into the circular torque training, swinging Indian clubs and Persian meals.
But not in Times Square, New York City, without your shirt on.
Yeah, dressed in very tight, effeminate outfits.
At least wear a T-shirt.
Now, I just want to say, they've been coming out with, well, they've been selling it for a while. Steel, mace, and Indian clubs. But I just want to say to everyone, there is nothing like wood for the best gripping experience. It is the wood that makes it good. There's nothing like the grip of wood. All natural wood. It just.
You mean that nothing like the grip of wood from JFK Airport to Southern Connecticut?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The shake weight. You know, and those are the I only paid, actually I got those for free from Christian Darst, the 8-pound clubs, and the only thing I paid for was the shipping, so that was nice of him.
Yeah.
They were unfinished, which I wanted. They were just lying around. They're maple, and I said, sure, I'll take them, you know. And I got I went to Home Depot and I got something called Watco's teak. Well, this was teak color. Watco's stain oil. It's an oil with stain in it, and I chose the teak because I thought it was a nice color.
No, they're beautiful. I've seen them.
Yeah, yeah, like they use teak wood a lot in Scandinavian furniture and on boats, on sailboats, and you know, wooden vessels. They use teak, and I mean, they had cherry, but it was too dark. I don't. It was more like a burgundy, and I didn't want to go that route. So I used this, and I must have put like 7 coats. Every day I put a new coat on it, and I had them inside of a garbage bag on the dining room table, so the Watco oil, you know, wouldn't leak anywhere. Of course, you have to hold the bag up to a light to make sure there's no holes in it. And I did the bottom. I made sure I did the bottom. So 7 coats, it did the trick. You know, it had a smell of like turpentine. I think that is the chemical that helps everything penetrate into the unfinished wood. I just want to say, I want to salute Mr. Pratye Singh, whose real name is Garanchenko from Varanasi, India. His company has grown and has improved vastly. I remember when he first started, and talk about a tremendous improvement in his product line. Oh, it's like going from it's like going from bologna to prosciutto. That's that's how much he improved. And that Hahnemann, that wooden Hahnemann Gouda is a work of art. You know, the Hahnemann style Gouda.
Yeah, Pratye Singh makes some beautiful products.
Oh, yeah, he does. He absolutely does. So how has your training been? What is the update on your training?
Outstanding. Yeah, I'll be going at 6 o'clock to meet my friend Brad at the gym.
Okay.
So I'm doing squats and stuff today. I did my max trainer this morning and I did the Hindu squats this morning, and I did Bulgarian split squats this morning, all body weight stuff. And then am I working today? So then I'll do leg presses, squats, treadmill tonight, extensions, like curls. They're getting a good pump. It's all good. So a lot of goals for 2024. So
and
it's got to follow your advice. You're the expert. You're certified from Columbia University. I've never heard of Columbia University, but I've heard of Little Dickie Doyle's university out there in fucking Long Beach. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that.
Never heard of Columbia though. Never heard of Columbia where you went to school.
He was Little Dickie Doyle is the one who discovers Slick Rick Brown.
Yeah.
He took a liking. He was impressed by his amateur videos.
He was enamored.
Yeah, yes, he was. And this is before Rick Brown ever went on the road to do a seminar. You know, he was just a mere neophyte. He's a forklift operator in a warehouse, and he still is, but he didn't want me to post that information because he wanted to present an elitist professional image to everyone that his sole career is teaching the mace, and he didn't want me to mention the warehouse, but hey, it's a union job. He's got
A
seniority.
very good job, actually.
He's got
Be
seniority.
moderate.
When you got seniority in the union, you got a good you got a good deal. Don't quit your day job. That's all I got to say. And but anyway, if it wasn't for little Dickie Doyle, um, hosting him to do seminars at his Long Beach kettlebell club, Rick Brown would not have gone anywhere. So that's probably why Dickie Doyle's signature was at the bottom of that wonderful
Expensive toilet paper.
Yeah, expensive diner placemat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now let's not forget the decals for the cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. This is a certificate that has no academic value whatsoever. It's not worth not even
a free ice, a cold bottle of ice cold spring water. But I need not digress.
Yes, let's not digress. But anyway, I was watching a video. God rest his soul. I should try to find out why he died so young. But Mike Menser was saying that that the best, and he swore by it, the best tricep and pectoral exercise is the dips. The dips.
Yep.
And you can't omit the
you can't argue with success.
You can't argue with success, and also,
even though the Mr. Olympia was stolen from because Arnold got it because Joe Weider was sucking his dick.
Yeah,
sucking Arnold's dick.
Well, Arnold was also buddies with some of the judges. So when he entered that last Mr. Olympia contest, it was like a last minute decision, and all the guys that were up there, Chris Dickerson, Mike Menser, Boyer Coe, they were pissed.
I know.
And Mike Menser, he stormed off the stage when it was over, and he threw the trophy and smashed it on the floor, and he vowed never to enter any more of these contests that were rigged.
Yep.
And it was rigged for Arnold. And so what was I saying before?
Very sad.
Oh, Mike Menser. Oh, and the chin-ups are an outstanding bicep exercise, and also the
lats and forearms.
Also the rowing with your palms up, Mike Menser says, is the best bicep exercise, better than curls, because he says curls only hit one of the bicep heads.
Yep.
Bicep has two sections, right? As in biceps, biceps, as opposed to triceps. So it only hits one side. But when you're doing palms up rowing or chinning, it's actually the same movement, because your palms are up and you're hitting the entire bicep muscle. So, but of course you can add weight. They have the belts. You can put plates on the belts if you need to, if you wish. Yeah, body weight exercises are very underrated. That's all I have to say. They're quite underrated. So, as a dietary note, what did you have for lunch at the wonderful Turkish restaurant?
Let me see. Shish kebab of the chicken souvlaki
Czechoslovakia. Yeah,
Yeah,
very good.
and smoked rice, and I had lentil soup as a side.
Ah,
And then I
lentejas.
had, obviously I had a Turkish salad with cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, vinegar, olive oil, and the Turkish spices on it.
Oh wow. And the Turkish Middle Eastern spices are absolutely wonderful. They're so aromatic and like Indian spices, like curry. They are so incredible. It's like it's a whole experience in smelling and tasting these spices. Really is. I like shawarmas. I like, of course, lamb gyros. Souvlaki's are pretty good. Turkish food is excellent. Yeah, I remember at the Royal Hibachi, he used to put out what he called Arabic rice, which was a seasoned rice.
Yep.
It was yellow. It was kind of like,
Yeah, that's what I get. Smoked rice.
yeah, it's like curry, and it had slivered almonds in there
Yep.
and big chunks of lamb
Wow.
meat on the bone, which is okay because there was a lot of meat. I noticed that if I cook meat on the bone, it has much more flavor than deboned.
Wow.
The flavor is much better. Um, um, and
So how's the quality still?
Well, I haven't been there since before the pandemic. My sister went there, and her and Jerry were very disappointed. He wasn't replenishing the empty trays.
Hmm.
He was being a stingy, cheap fuck. He wasn't, you're
Hmm.
supposed to replenish empty trays. He wasn't
It's
doing.
not good for business, James.
No, well, I think his asshole personality um, has coincided with his stinginess and greed, and you can't do things that are bad for business when you're paying a high rent. If you're paying a high lease, like Bergen County, New Jersey, is very expensive for businesses.
Yeah.
You know,
He's right on the main road, Route 46 South.
yeah, and he's in a shopping center, and it's unfortunate, but the square footage leasing costs is pretty high, and you have to work miracles in order to turn a profit and survive.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest waste of money are people who start a business in a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you why. The rent is so fucking high in a shopping mall that you have to have nonstop customers buying, or otherwise you can't make it. The rent is so high, and the reason and their excuse for charging them such a high rent is, oh, you got foot traffic of the mall, foot traffic. But the foot traffic doesn't mean anything if your prices are high.
And your quality's low.
Yeah. I mean,
High prices are okay, James. I don't mind paying a premium if I'm getting premium product.
yes. Well,
It's
reason.
like Pratt Yates Singh has quality product. I don't mind paying a premium for Pratt Yates Singh's products
Yeah.
because they're superior, not inferior, like somebody else we know out in the Western United States. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah. The veteran in Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets his wood for free from the forest, which is why he attracted the affection and attention of uh,
Oh, a certain empowered female.
tear ass and the product. The two
Female empowerment.
the couple that like to come out with autographs series clubs.
Yeah.
Hold on. Brian's Souk asked, "Is that the Commodore?" Yeah, that's him. How you doing, Brian? So now sometimes a premium price is not worth paying. Like if you go to Legal Seafood and you
Oh,
spend
jeez.
over $30 for deep sea scallops, over $30 for scallops.
Oy vey.
Yeah, that's exactly why they're over $30. Oy vey. Let's see, Brian Suki. He's very knowledgeable. That man is a legend in strength. Oh, he is. He's drug-free, competitive athlete, and he's in training for the next upcoming Vintage Strength Games, which is going to be where?
June in Clayton, North Carolina.
Clayton, North Carolina. But Brian knows. I can't stand Legal Seafood. Those prices are illegal.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
That's the good one. Yeah, it's highway robbery. You're damn right. I mean, come on.
The fact is a fact.
Way over $30 for deep sea scallops. And how many scallops are you getting? That's what I want to know.
That's pretty expensive feces 24 hours from now.
I'd rather go to Trader Joe's and get a bag of frozen or the local Acme supermarket and get a big bag of frozen deep sea scallops and defrost them and cook them the way I like and pay less money than going to a Legal Seafood.
Yeah. What's that nice store that's near you? It begins with A. You take videos sometimes in there when you get your shrimp.
Videos.
It begins with A. It's an Italian name.
Well, oh geez, Italian name.
Yeah, what's the name of that?
Oh man.
It begins with A as in apple.
We don't have one around here. They had it in Lodi, Aldi's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aldi's, the people that own Aldi's are related to the people who own Trader Joe's. They're relatives.
Oh.
And I just want to answer
until Jeff Bezos got into the act. That's a whole other different story.
Brian, these are two of my clubs. These are the smaller ones, made of maple, 8 pounds each. And yeah, I haven't done them in a while because I've been trying to rehabilitate my shoulders because I got caught up a while back in the American trend of trying to always lift heavy, swing heavy. Everybody's hooked on high numbers. They gotta impress everybody else in the gym, and they have to lift heavy all the time. And
doctors love, orthopedic surgeons love it because that's the next Mercedes-Benz down payment.
And I was military pressing with a barbell with too much weight, which threw off my form. So I was jerking the barbell up, and that's how I initiated the injury. So
that's too bad.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Well, that's a good lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned, and I know lifting heavy is an ego thing. A lot of young guys are into it.
Yeah, how much can you bench?
Yeah, how much could you bench? Hey, how much could you bench? Hey, what do you bench? Yeah. Hey, what do you curl? What do you? No, they always say, what do you bench? Hey, what do you bench?
Yeah, but the Iron Sheik proved that wrong.
Yeah, well, nobody could swing his clubs. Not even power lifters and bodybuilders. You know what is good seafood? You're damn right it is. City Island in the Bronx. Oh, it was the best fried calamari I ever had. Johnny's Reef.
Hmm.
Johnny's Reef is like near the Long Island Sound because first you hit a beautiful park, no riffraff, quiet. You never know you're in the Bronx. Then you go
Wow.
into City Island, which is also super quiet and peaceful. And all the residential area there, they're all well manicured property, and there's all you see is marinas, seafood restaurants, and bars, and no riffraff. And it said Johnny's Reef, 75-year-old family-owned business, and it's the north end of the Bronx, which was near the Long Island Sound. And I got so much calamari, incredible, and it was the best, creamiest chocolate milkshake I ever had.
Old school.
Yeah, and that only a family owned business for 75 years can do, with quality. Sting was swinging like Bob Backlund. They were
Yeah, that friggin' Governor Murphy, though, he didn't help the family-owned businesses in New Jersey during COVID.
yeah, well, what's his name? What's his name? Ron DeSantis allowed maximum capacity in all the restaurants and bars, and the pandemic, from a medical standpoint, was wreaking havoc in Florida. They weren't swinging them, Brian. They were doing swipes, forwards and backwards. They weren't doing proper form swinging. No, not even the Ultimate Warrior. He, God rest his soul, he tried swinging the Iron Sheik's clubs. You remember? He was in that competition in.
I know.
Yeah, when they had the Persian Club challenge, a younger Ultimate Warrior. Now Ken Patera was the first person in the Olympics, the first person to military press 500 pounds. And then, of course, later he became pro wrestler. I think he trained under Vern Gagne in AWA, Minnesota. But it was a good show last night, Brian. You should have stopped by.
The Red Pill Show?
Yeah, the Saturday night show went very well. And I brought up a point that made Mick Von Raven a little upset. I brought up the fact that today's feminist career women that demand to get paid equal salary to men, they should be able to do the job that the man does. If they can't do the job, then they're not entitled to equal pay. And then he says he called me a sexist. I says, no, I'm being realistic.
Who called you a sexist?
Well, Mick Von Raven. I says I was.
Oh, geez.
I'm being realistic. How is it? If I'm telling the truth, how is it being a sexist? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, I spoke to him about it off the air, and he took a CBD THC edible to calm down instead of drinking beer or food.
In other words, a suppository is like a nice big.
No, by mouth.
Cleanse
himself. It's a candy with extract of cannabis in it, and it's very relaxing. It's very good for people that have anxiety, like myself. I have anxiety. I take medication, but I would love to switch to cannabis, but it's like the people who created prohibition. back in the day, they still demonize marijuana, which is ridiculous because it's a miracle herb. It's great for so many different things, But so good. You had a great lunch, and that the rice sounds really tasty. You know, the rice sounds.
And then they give you slices of orange and slices of lemon, and then I squeeze the lemon juice and the orange juice all over the chicken. The cubes of chicken that were off the grill, and
I
yeah,
noticed Middle Eastern cuisine,
it's
including
beautiful. Oh
Turkish,
my
they
gosh!
use a lot of fresh parsley.
And then they give me yogurt that has garlic in it and other stuff in it, and then on the other side there's hummus, and then I put the chicken like as I'm slicing up, I put that in there, and
I
oh
love
man,
hummus. I could eat a whole bowl.
Mama
I
mia!
could eat a whole bowl of hummus by myself. That's how much I love hummus.
And then they give you a little bit of baba ganoush.
Baba ganoush is eggplant, right?
Yep.
They use a lot of fresh parsley. They love
Mm-hmm.
to use lemon, and lemon is one.
Oh
They use
yes.
a lot of lemon. You know what's funny? I worked a job one time where there was a lot of Peruvian employees, nice guys, and when they opened their plastic containers to have lunch, of course, it was pork and everything, but they used lime. They had fresh limes that they would squeeze on the meat, and I tried doing it myself, and what a wonderful flavor for fresh lime is.
Yeah.
Just
And what's the herb that they put in the Mexican food? Cilantro.
cilantro,
Oh my gosh, that with lime.
fresh
Oof,
cilantro.
Mama mia.
That originally came from China. They call it's Chinese parsley. Yeah,
Oh.
and cilantro is very good for detoxifying heavy metals from the bloodstream, toxic metals.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Hmm.
why I told uh, Michael Hilton. He has a juice extractor now. He's been
Yep.
juicing. I told him
I like Michael Hilton. I miss him. He's a good
he's
guy.
been juicing. He got what they call a slow masticating juicer, which is the one that becomes the juice comes out on the side, and then it has a pulp ejector. And he buys all the raw produce, and when you juice the fresh veggies and fruits, you're not killing the enzymes. Like if you buy fruit juice in a store, it's pasteurized. All the enzymes are dead. So you got
Yep.
fresh enzymes. You got nutrients that are cell ready. They're ready to go right in the bloodstream instantly, and it's really a good way to have your veggies. Me,
Yeah.
I made a big chopped salad in the Ninja processor. I put whatever I had. I had raw broccoli, carrots, and celery, which I peeled. Then I was going to use cucumber because I love cucumber, but the
Yep.
half a cucumber I had got rotten, so I had to toss it. So I ground everything with the machine, and this way every spoonful of the salad has equal amounts of everything in every spoonful. So I put the Bragg organic apple cider vinegar with the mother of the vinegar, and then I also put extra virgin olive oil. So it was in oil and vinegar, and it was a wonderful salad.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a wonderful salad. I know you're at the office because I could tell by the window.
Oh
I could
yeah.
tell about by the background. Oh,
Hmm.
oh. Let me play a little dating game.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
halftime intermission entertainment.
So that reminds me, because every time I think of the dating, I always think of Farrah Fawcett Majors. But anyways, so speaking of Farrah Fawcett's common law husband, Ryan O'Neal, passed away this past week, I think, or was it the week before?
Really? How old?
Yeah, Ryan O'Neal. He was 82 years old, I think.
Wow. Well, you know what? You just reminded me of something. God bless this guy. He's still alive. I want to salute Dick Van Dyke. He's 98 or 99 years old.
99.
He's 99 years old. God bless him. He looks great. He's sharp as a tack. He's alert. Incredible. Incredible. He's a treasure.
He's got a nice young wife.
Maybe that's why he looks good.
His wife is in her 50s.
Oh, okay. It's not too bad for.
Yeah, she's a dog. She looks like that girl on The Big Bang Theory, the ugly one there, Sheldon's girlfriend.
Oh,
but that's okay.
No, the blonde.
No. The ugly one, the brunette, the fat one, the fatso one.
Gosh.
Sheldon's girlfriend there, whatever the hell her name, Amy. Yeah, she's on. She's a host for Jeopardy sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
There's that one.
Maya Billet.
Oh, yeah, the Big Bang Theory is with all those geeks, the dorky guys.
Yeah.
They're all like high IQ geniuses.
Yeah.
And they're, that's all they have, really. If a man is a dork, that's all he has is high intelligence.
He's
not he's not in a position where he walks around saying, "Oh, worship me, love me, look at me." Ooh.
Yeah. Sheepers creepers. That reminds me of a certain mustachioed somebody, but I digress.
Yeah, Snidely Whiplash. What was that?
Slim Whitman.
From the old cartoon Dudley Do-Right, the Royal Police. He had the dimple in his chin. Yeah, so his arch nemesis was Snidely Whiplash, and it was always the one with the thin mustache. They used to tie the young girl to the railroad tracks.
Yep.
They can never. The old cartoons would never fly nowadays. None of them. Dick Tracy, Heckle and Jekyll, they're all stereotyping.
Yeah.
But people don't realize there's always a bit of truth to a stereotype. There's always a bit of truth to it, but they exaggerate. But it was funny. It was hilarious, actually. Remember the high karate commercials?
I love that.
The guys running into the wrong karate, trying to keep the women away from them.
Yep.
High karate, aftershave and cologne. And I got Brute by Fabergé. Jerry gave me some Brute deodorant, and still has a wonderful aroma. Brute by Fabergé. Well, I have a feeling everyone is probably.
I'm surprised Masami hasn't showed up yet.
Who?
Masami from Japan.
Oh, Masumi. Oh, it's early by her. She should be getting up. She should be getting up soon. It's well, it's 5:40. No, wait. What am I saying? It's 6:40. She should be up now. 6:45 a.m. Monday. So when she gets up, she does what everybody does: goes to the bathroom, makes coffee. She goes through her routine, morning routine, and I love good quality dark roast coffee. Uh, I've been drinking this organic Peruvian dark roast. Wonderful, wonderful coffee. That's an example of paying a little more money for quality and have it be worth it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going by my sister's as usual. Unfortunately, she has to work the day after. Her and Jerry have to work the day after Christmas. She tried her best, but she couldn't. She couldn't get the day off. And
Well, it's a holiday in Canada. It's called Boxing Day.
buxom, like big breasts. What?
No, boxing as in the fight.
Oh, Boxing Day.
Yeah, because you're supposed to box up your Christmas things, but we don't do that till like after New Year's. But
I don't. I couldn't. I couldn't do a good job of gift wrapping if my life depended on it. I put everything in a bag, I buy those gift bags, you know, decorative bags, and then I put everything in there, and I put a staple on top, so people can't see what's in there, and that's it. That's it. And I tell my sister, save them, because there's nothing wrong with them. Once you open them up and take the items out, there's nothing wrong with the bag.
just wait 1 second. I gotta get something off the printer. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Save the bags, folks. There's a consumer tip for everybody. If you use gift bags, there's no reason to throw them away. It's not like putting wrapping paper on a box. That's different because you're using Scotch tape, right? And you have to tear the wrapping paper to pieces to get to open the box. But not with a gift bag. Just one staple right in the center. That's all you do. And then when they open it up, you know, you make sure they don't tear the staple apart. You know, you gently open up the staple, you save the bag. Yeah, and the bag should, I'm not saying it's gonna last forever, but pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. Now my sister could save bags because she's got the room. I'm limited for space, and but
But you got a beautiful space. You're in Edgewater.
well,
It's one of the best places in all of North America.
I got a big apartment, and I got a
And you got the best place to walk in the world, and you got the best view at night. And
yeah
my gosh, you live in a paradise.
yeah that wooden deck. That wooden deck is not far from that hotel you were going to stay at.
Yeah,
What was it? The Comfort Inn?
yeah, right on the
Yeah,
water.
you would have had now if you would
It's $1 million view.
if your hotel room was in the back, then you would have had the view. And then you just walk not even 1 minute, not even 30 seconds, and you're on the walkway. And there's that deck where you can do exercises, and then there's Trader Joe's in a whole bunch of stores, and the cafe is right next door to the Comfort Inn, the Edgewater Market Shopping Center. It's right there.
Everything's right
You got
there.
restaurants. You got the Trader Joe.
You got the fitness
You got
center.
oh yeah, down further there's a Fitness Factory right on the
Yeah.
Hudson River.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, and by the Fitness Factory, there's an Outback Steakhouse. There's a Target. There's Acme Supermarket. There's a whole bunch of stores, and,
Right back.
and there's a restaurant right on a pier, right next to Fitness Factory. There's a big restaurant right on a pier, and they have a nightclub. They have like dancing or whatever on the weekend. Well, folks, we are streaming to YouTube and Twitch. I want to welcome everyone to the original Holistic Health Talk. I'm your host, James P. Madonna, and I also do a show called Progressive Discussions on Saturdays, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. When does it end? Who knows? I let the show wear itself out. The show was like 3.5 hours long, I think, last night. And the show wears itself out when people start getting quiet and start to not be able to think of anything new to say. I was just telling the folks, the shows wear themselves out. You kind of know when the show has to end. In your case, you got bowel percolation, and you got to go to the gym.
Yeah, I gotta go to the gym about 7 minutes from now.
7 minutes from now, and usually, how long is the drive to the gym?
About 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, so you if you have to go to the bathroom, you go at the gym.
I don't like to though, because all these fucking assholes, they piss all over the toilet seat.
Oh, disgusting.
No, seriously, they wear all this expensive like bodybuilding like tank tops and shit like that, expensive like $200 sneakers, but then they can't fucking lift up the toilet seat to take a piss inside of it, or else they shit, and then there's piss still all over the toilet seat.
Disgusting. You know what?
It's disgusting. And then they have needles from the fucking steroids. We have to have special like needle dispensers, like you put like how girls have to put their tampons.
Yes, yes.
So they have stuff in the men's locker room in every single stall, and it's to put needles in because they all take steroids.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
They give.
Well, no, go to Gold's Gym.
They give them.
Go to go to Powerhouse Gym near the Turkish restaurant, near the Royal Hibachi Buffet. That gym there, I guarantee you, in the men's room there, they have needle, because you can't put your fingers in it. You can only put the needle in it, but you can't take anything out.
It's like a place. It's like when the hospitals have toxic waste.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's like when you go like the parking garages, you can only go forward with your tires, but if you go backwards, the puncture.
Yeah, it's really horrible. I mean, they lift all these weights and they can't lift the toilet seat.
No, and then they're gonna park their car right in front. Where the old people are supposed to park their cars. These fucking assholes, they run the cardio machine for like a half an hour to an hour, but they had to park right against the fucking gym building instead of like parking out, a little bit out further.
They're too lazy to walk a little bit.
Assholes. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's horrible. I mean, I lift the toilet seat with my foot. With my shoe. I don't touch the toilet seat. I just kick it with my shoe.
Have some pride. Have some pride.
No respect for other people's property.
Nope. And then they don't put the weights back. Sometimes they leave the plates on the barbell. It's ridiculous.
When I used to be a trainer at this Gold's Gym, that was a gym policy that everybody had to put their fucking weights back, because what if a woman, and it happened too, a woman would ask one of the guys, she would say, I want to use this machine. Could you please put the weights back? And, I mean, you got all these 45-pound plates, and the guy would have an attitude and be nasty with her. Like he
Yeah.
didn't care. Like he just he just he just left his plates there. And the same thing
I know.
with dumbbells. You don't want people to trip over the dumbbells on the floor.
The big heroes. You know the heroes?
Yeah, the big macho man.
Yeah.
This is
The big nobodies.
see, this is the drawback to the alpha male, is a lot of them are big time assholes. A
Yeah.
Sigma man he's at least a gentleman.
Yeah.
He's respectful. He's not a fool. He's not a sucker. You can't use the Sigma or take advantage of the Sigma, but he's not an asshole with a big ego, that needs to be treated special and be the center of attention. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, I'm glad you brought it up, because they call that gym etiquette,
Yeah.
and these punks, I'm so glad that I've learned to actually like working out in solitude. I mean, but some people need the inspiration, the motivation to exercise among others. You go because there probably certain equipment there
Well, yeah.
that
There's millions of dollars of equipment. I get a lot of equipment in my house, but I can't fit all those nice machines in my house. I don't use all the machines. There's certain ones I use.
do they have
But
they have hammer strength.
yeah.
That's a good machine. Hammer strength is a plate loaded machine. Hammer strength is
So
a good machine. You got
so
there's a back rowing. Now I hope they did the right thing and put the chest hammer strength near the back hammer strength, so people don't have to go too far. Like if they want to do chest and back,
no, everything's located pretty well.
biceps, triceps. Some people, when they superset, they do opposing muscle groups. They call that agonist antagonistic muscle groups.
Well, you're certified. Well, you graduated from Columbia University, so yeah.
Yeah, agonist, antagonist. Because what's happening is, and you could do really good negatives on a hammer strength. Come down like slow, like 4 seconds. But my friend, a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, just had soldier. I'm sorry. Shoulder surgery on his right shoulder, and his heart. He's hooked up to a heart monitor, and I says, well, how did this all start? Well, he says, I was doing dumbbell presses for a long time with big heavy dumbbells, and I injured my shoulder doing
Wow.
like almost 100-pound dumbbells, and he fucked up his shoulder, and now he's in a sling, and he said,
Yeah, that's too
and
bad.
he says the doctor says the heart problem came from him doing steroids for so long.
Yep.
So now he's paying for it.
Yep. False sense of glory.
Yeah, and it's limited too. And
Yep.
just like you told me about the bone chips in the young guy's elbows from swinging.
Paul Manassas.
Yes, Manassas, Virginia. He's swinging heavy all the time.
Yeah.
Because he paid attention to the thin Slim Whitman, the mustachioed Slim Whitman.
Yeah, boy wonder.
Yeah, a guy that he swings 50 pounds for like just several swings. He throws it down and he's laughing. Yeah, why don't you try to do this? He tells the guys,
Tough guy.
yeah, why don't you try to do this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to put a headlock on a practice dummy on the mat.
Yeah.
I mean, because the dummy don't fight back.
Yep.
It's like somebody saying, "Oh, I went to the target range and I did pretty damn good, with the bullseye. Yeah, but guess what? The bullseye doesn't shoot back at you.
Yeah, remember he was wrestling that dummy on the floor?
Yeah, he had it in a headlock.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, him and Vince Garanda there. Big fucking tough guy. Vince Garanda didn't know him from a fucking hole in the wall.
No, and he says, no, he didn't. And are you the one? Are you Vince Garanda? He says, yeah, that's me, the one and only. He was a character. Vince is the one who said you get more pectoral development from flies than you do from bench pressing.
Anyways, I gotta get going. It's after
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yes, it is. It is time for you to get going. Thank you for stopping by, doing the show. It's been wonderful as always.
Thank you, sir. It
Let
was
me
a pleasure.
Let me pipe you off the ship. Arr! And there he is. That was the one and only. The one and only Commodore Jeff Zambello. Now we're going to do some, let's see. Okay, bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I always say that. Bear with me. Okay, we got a new treatment could one day replace the need for root canals.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Thumbtack my ass.
And a novel treatment could one day replace the dreaded root canal. Both of you have said that you've had one.
I've had two. One recently. I know. So, dental pulp is that tissue that's inside the tooth, and it can become inflamed and infected after injury or from cavities. Now, the problem is often treated with a root canal, where the pulp and nerve are removed, the root canal is cleaned, and then filled and sealed with material. But root canals can be really uncomfortable and can have complications such as infection or fracture. Now, ADA Foresight scientists are studying the use of a molecule called Resolvin E1 that's produced by the body and has been shown to control excess inflammation. In experiments, when applied to infected and damaged dental pulp, it was able to regenerate the pulp and slow down the rate of infection and inflammation. So not only could this treatment one day replace root canals, they actually say it could potentially be used to grow bones and other tissues in various parts of the body, sort of part of this regenerative medicine.
It's remarkable. I gotta say, dentistry has come a long way. We joke and we cringe when we hear words like dental pulp.
I never realized it, but those two words.
You don't like that?
Those
that
upset me
bothers
great.
you?
I never knew it till just the moment you said it.
But don't you think dentists do a good job now? In our minds, it's much worse than it actually is.
I've
when
had
you
a
have to
very good
it.
experience. Yeah, you got to find the right provider, the right dentist.
Yes.
But I have a wonderful one, and she took very good care of me.
I
Except
do
for that
too.
drilling noise.
I know.
Oh, I know.
Well, please promise to never say dental pulp.
just
If you have
said it.
any general health questions for Dr. Malika, just email us. They don't have to be just about COVID or the flu. You can reach out to her about anything on Facebook at Dr. Malika Marshall, or just send her an email, drmalika@cbs.com.
Interesting. Absolutely fascinating. Okay. Let's see. This is it an article or is this Oh, this is fascinating. Health related. Oh. It says listen to this article. Oh, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try and I'm gonna listen to this article. lidocaine makes cancer cells self-destruct. That's pretty fascinating. Lidocaine, you know, the stuff that some dentists inject in you instead of Novocaine. Injections of this common anesthetic could give cancer therapies a boost. Listen to this article, okay.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner Entertainment Company.
Yeah.
Lidocaine makes cancer cells self-destruct, study finds. Doctors may be able to improve outcomes for patients with head and throat cancer simply by injecting the common local anesthetic lidocaine near the site of their tumors, according to a new University of Pennsylvania study. The background: cells on the surface of your taste buds express proteins called bitter taste receptors, T2RS. When you eat something bitter, it activates these proteins, causing them to trigger nerves that send signals to your brain that give you the sensation of taste. Your mouth isn't the only place where you'll find T2RS, though. The cells of your heart, lungs, brain, and other tissues also produce the proteins, for reasons that aren't entirely clear, as do a variety of cancer cells. What's new? In 2022, Penn scientists discovered that many head and neck cancers contain T2RS and that activating the proteins with bitter compounds triggers cellular death. They also identified an association between increased T2R expression and better patient outcomes. In a new study, they reveal that lidocaine can activate T2R14, a bitter taste receptor found in high levels in many cancer cells, leading to cell death. Speaking as a head and neck surgeon, we use lidocaine all the time, said co-lead researcher Ryan Carey. We know lidocaine is safe, we're comfortable using it, and it's readily available, which means it could be incorporated into other aspects of head and neck cancer care fairly seamlessly. The big picture. Lidocaine was already suspected of being beneficial to cancer patients prior to this study, but researchers didn't know why or how it seemed to help. The Penn study not only reveals that the drug activates T2R14 to trigger cell death, but also identifies two mechanisms that enable this activation: mitochondrial calcium ion overload and proteasome inhibition. This improved understanding of the process could lead to new cancer treatments and paves the way to clinical trials in which the anesthetic is administered alongside standard cancer therapies. While we're not suggesting the lidocaine could cure cancer, we're galvanized by the possibility that it could get an edge on head and neck cancer treatment and move the dial forward in terms of improving treatment options for patients with this challenging form of cancer, said Carey. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a comment about this article or if you have a tip for a future FreeThink story, please email us at emailprotected.
Absolutely fascinating article. Hold on, about lidocaine. Okay, now to the next health related video. Let's see. Let's see. Well, this is really bombarding me with advertisements. Okay. As a okay, this researcher spent 20 years studying foods 100-year-old people eat, and this is the world's #1 healthiest breakfast. All right. As a longevity researcher, I've spent the past 20 years studying the habits of people who live to 100 years old or longer, particularly the foods they eat. And in a tucked away corner of Nicoya, Costa Rica, I may have found the world's healthiest breakfast. Under a red tile roof, a dozen or so people of the Cooperativa Nicoya wake each morning at 4 a.m. They stoke wood fires in clay ovens, put cauldrons of spicy beans to boil, and mix corn dough with wood ash. A woman pinches off a golf ball sized piece of dough on a piece of wax paper and rotates it with mechanical precision into a perfectly round patty. She slaps it onto a hot clay plate where it expands to a puffy disc before collapsing into a perfect tortilla. At the other end of the stove, 3 others mix beans with onions, red peppers, and local herbs. The beans cook slowly for about an hour to tender perfection and are then mixed with rice. What makes this hearty longevity dish so healthy? The corn tortillas, chewy with a nutty flavor, are an excellent source of whole grain, low glycemic complex carbohydrates. The wood ash breaks down the corn cell walls, making niacin, a B vitamin that plays a role in cell signaling and DNA repair, available, and freeing amino acids so the body can absorb them. The black beans contain the same pigment-based anthocyanidins, which are antioxidants found in blueberries. They are rich, colon cleansing, blood pressure lowering, and insulin regulating, and they are filled with folates like potassium and B vitamins to boot. The bean and rice combination creates a whole protein, which is to say all the amino acids necessary for human sustenance. The coffee here, made from a local strain of peaberry beans, provides a boost of antioxidants plus metabolism boosting caffeine. The chilero, made with vinegar, carrots, and searingly hot peppers, offers a probiotic boost to the breakfast along with curcumin, a compound shown to possess antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-cancer properties. Total cost of the breakfast, $4.23, a very fair price to discover Nicoya's secrets to longevity. You can do as the Nicoyans do, make a large batch of bean soup and then enjoy it all week. Nixtamal tortillas. They look good. Nixtamal is corn dough mixed with wood ash to enhance the flavor and create the B vitamin niacin. Nixtamal refers to corn that has been soaked and partially cooked with wood ash or lime. Well, this is the way they make masa, I think. The flour you find in Latin markets. They're also like harmony grits too. They use lime in the processing instead of wood ash. This releases the amino acid. Now, they made a mistake. It's a typo. It releases the B vitamin niacin, not amino acid, in corn, which helps to reduce bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol and also aids in digestion. Corn itself is high in fiber, folate, and vitamins B and C. You can buy your nixtamal corn flour from the ethnic food aisle, from Mexican or Latin groceries, or online. Now, this is what I see. Well, it says total cooking time 15 minutes, makes 5 servings. Now, see, they call it masa harina. This is what it is called in the Latin stores. Masa harina. 2 cups of masa harina, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 cups of warm tap water. Well, I wouldn't use tap water. I would use filtered water. Plus more as needed. Plastic wrap, wax paper as needed. And then it tells you what you need to do. You got to knead the dough. You got to press it. You got to stretch it out, like making a pizza pie. So on and so forth. Looks like avocado, black beans and rice. Maybe plantains. Rice and beans. Or beans and rice. The man, Jose Guevara Galopinto. He was 2015. He was 105 years old. Maybe he passed away. Who knows? Okay. Anyway, it's a good article. Let's see. See what we got going here. See if we got any messages. Nope. This has to do with the amino acid, the branch chain amino acid, isoleucine. Eating less amino acid-rich foods increase lifespan by up to 33%. Studies find that's quite a bit. So what you need to do is try to lower your isoleucine foods. Don't have as many eggs, dairy products, soy, protein, various meats. How are you supposed to do that? How are you supposed to do that, really? What's this? It's easier said than done. Well, it significantly slows the aging process. Lower your isoleucine intake. The branch chain amino acids is leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Okay, isoleucine being the predominant amino acid. What's going on? It seems to have frozen here. This is weird. Oh boy. I wonder why it froze up on me. Huh. I'm having some technical problems here. It froze up. It froze up the page. Well, takes care of that. Um, okay. This is Dr. Eric Berg. The guy's fantastic with his health videos.
I did a video recently on the #1 best anti-inflammatory food. Today we're going to talk about the #1 inflammatory food on the planet. So there's a lot of confusion in this area of what causes inflammation. You have the vegans telling you that red meat and other types of animal products cause inflammation. And then you have the carnivores over here saying it's the fiber that's causing inflammation. So they get rid of all the fiber and the plants, and all their inflammation goes away. So this is really confusing the public. Like, what do you do? There's many plants and herbs that have natural anti-inflammatories, right? Turmeric and milk thistle and stinging nettle root and many other plants have anti-inflammatories. But of course, they also have anti-nutrients, right?
Some people might say plants weren't designed for us to consume because they don't want to be eaten.
But someone could say the same thing with animals. Animals don't want to be eaten too. They want to survive, right? So there's this big battle on this fiber, right? Fiber. Is it good? Is it bad? Should we consume more of it? I know personally, for me, when I started getting rid of the grain fibers and start consuming more protein, especially for breakfast, a lot of my inflammation
went away.
But I also consume a lot of plants and doesn't create inflammation in my gut. So why is it that some people do well on more meat and maybe other people might do better on plants? Now, I'm going to cover this topic in the relationship to inflammation because you have people that have autoimmune diseases, and nearly all the autoimmune diseases start in your gut. You also have a lot of people who have allergies to milk, nuts, eggs, gluten. Now, there's two really interesting things I want to just mention right off the bat. There are basically two things that we can't digest. Humans cannot digest fiber. Okay, it's non-digestible. We don't have the enzymes to digest fiber. And also, gluten, the protein in grains, is the only protein that we can't digest. And now, what about this fiber, right? Do we have a problem with fiber? Well, some people can do well with fiber and other people can't. So what breaks down the fiber? It's your microbes. So if you were just to do some research on your own, just type in Google fiber, gut health, fiber inflammation, gut inflammation, you're going to just find fiber is anti-inflammatory. You're going to find that for so many different research articles will tell you that, but it doesn't really explain when a carnivore cuts out the fiber, man, that they feel better, like their autoimmune diseases clear up, their allergies clear up. So what is going on there? Well, what if you were to type unfermented fiber, okay? Like maybe overloading the gut with so much fiber that you can't digest it, and some of it's unfermented. It's not broken down because the way that microbes deal with fiber is they ferment it. So if you were to type on that, you're going to find something really interesting. You're going to find that unfermented fiber is inflammatory. So that's probably what's happening. And the reason why that's happening is there's some alteration in the gut microbiome. So you just don't have enough of the right microbes to deal with this fiber. If you're like me in practice, you have a lot of experience working with people one-on-one with fiber, without fiber, and the history of maybe when they start developing inflammation. And there's always a time frame in their life that all of a sudden they can't digest this, or all of a sudden they started having inflammation. And so it's really important to do a history on what that person consumed before that, whether they developed an allergy as a child or late in life. For me, I can get away with eating anything until I was in my 20s. So if you start asking questions about someone's past, about what they ate, and what would alter the microbes, you get some really interesting information. We know antibiotics destroy your microbes, right? Like 80% of your microbes, they die off. So people who have had a lot of antibiotics have a lot of gut inflammation they have more autoimmune, they have more allergies.
And also what an infant is fed.
Have they had breast milk, which is loaded with probiotics from birth and a lot of other things to build the immune system? So I think a lot of these inflammatory problems start early on as a child. And if we look at what kids eat, it's a lot of ultra processed foods, AKA junk foods. Could this be the source of that? We have salt. We don't have a lot of fiber. We have sugar. We have different forms of sugar. We have different forms of flour. We have different oils. Maybe it's a combination of all these right here, right? And it's so funny that they call it ultra processed food because it doesn't even resemble food. But before I go any further, I want to share something about ultra processed food companies. This is a little short story, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about the tobacco industry.
These companies got to a point where there was just too much mounting evidence that proves that smoking is bad for you.
In December 1953, the CEOs from 5 tobacco companies met together at a hotel, and they came up with a strategy to counter this. They formed the Tobacco Industry Research Committee to control the science, and they focused on creating doubt. They said as long as doubt and controversy prevailed, the industry could fight off regulations.
Because it is the best means of competing with a body of facts
that exist in the general public. It is also the means of establishing a controversy. But what's even more interesting, between 1988 and 2001, certain tobacco companies owned Kraft, General Foods, and Nabisco. So apparently a lot of the ultra-processed food companies adopted some of these tactics as well. I mean, if you even look at the time frame between the 80s and now, I mean, obesity has tripled. Kids are developing diabetes. There's conflict of interest with the scientific academies and advisory committees that form our food pyramid. There was an investigation in 2002 into the dietitian organization and found that they were investing in stocks in Nestle, Pepsi Cola, Johnson & Johnson. So there's a lot of conflict of interest. But the ultra-processed food companies have created a lot of doubt and uncertainty into the public. They blame the individual, not the food. They attack the scientists who speak out. They emphasize and promote physical activity over the diet. They deny the existence of harmful foods, saying there's no bad food, it's just bad choices. And they have an endless call for we need more research because it's inconclusive. So in other words, there's a lot of corruption in this area of ultra-processed food. And one thing that's very interesting about ultra-processed food is that there's a high level of glyphosate. It's in the corn, it's in the soy, it's in the cottonseed oil, canola oils. It's in the wheat products. It's sprayed on the wheat. Did you know that glyphosate is also classified and even patented as an antibiotic? Glyphosate inhibits lactobacillus and bifidobacteria, 2 main strains of gut bacteria. And out of all the antibiotics that humans have taken, because the widely promoted and sold glyphosate, this is the main antibiotic that's being put into our food. And very unfortunately, we've been put on an antibiotic without even knowing it. And so out of all the combinations of these ingredients, glyphosate is at the top of the list as far as of what it does to our microbiome. Now, in plants, what it does is it kills bacteria, okay, in the soil, and then it allows the unfriendly bacteria to overgrow and kill the plant. In fact, in this one report that I read, if you spray glyphosate in the sterile soil where there's no bacteria, apparently it doesn't kill the plant. In other words, you have to strengthen the pathogens by getting rid of the defense mechanism so it can take over the plant. I wonder if this is happening to our guts right now, especially since autoimmune diseases and many allergies start at the gut. And if we've been on an antibiotic for all these years, what is that doing to our inflammation? So as soon as we create enough damage in the gut, now we can't handle the fiber. Why? Because the microbes aren't correct and we're going to get unfermented fiber and it's going to irritate us. And this is why people that go on a carnivore diet do much, much better. And then when you change a child's diet and get them off the ultra processed foods, right? They start having all sorts of positive outcomes. So the number 1 most inflammatory food on the planet is this right here, ultra processed foods, which is more than one, but it's a basic recipe of sugar, flour, and seed oils with glyphosate. All right, so now that you know the most inflammatory food, if you haven't seen my video on the most anti-inflammatory food, that's a very interesting one too. I'm going to put that right here. Check it out.
Okay, an excellent video by Dr. Eric Berg. Let's see. Let me check this out. Okay, I'll play one more. This has to do with stress and lowering your cortisol levels. Hey, Ronnie S. Good afternoon to Ronnie S. in Clearwater, Florida. We have overcast skies and rain here. No sun today. I'm just going to play this. I was going to get into pro wrestling talk, but it's getting late now. So let me just play this and then wrap up the show. I had the Commodore's Jeff Zambello on earlier.
Let's talk about stress. Unfortunately, we are all being bathed in chronic stress literally 24/7, and this is just not healthy. There are certain individuals and groups that are constantly putting out, your environment is very dangerous, okay? Danger, danger, danger. And as we are more exposed to this threat of danger, it can really affect every single system in our body. But there's one thing that's very, very important, and I want to just talk about it. And that really is changing your viewpoint about the environment. I know this might be hard to believe, but your environment is not quite as dangerous as they want you to believe. Now, it is dangerous, don't get me wrong. And there's certain individuals that profit from keeping the public in a fear state. And many times they exaggerate this. And it's just not a healthy thing to keep our attention on this negativity 24/7. So I want you to do something right now. I want you just to look outside right now, okay? What do you see? You see any dangerous things? I see a tree out there. I don't see any hurricanes, no tsunamis. Looks pretty safe out there. Now, look at the ground. Look at the floor right now. Are you sitting on a potential sinkhole right now? Do you feel that there's any termites that have destroyed your foundation that you're going to just cave right in? The answer is no. All right, so go ahead and put your hand on the wall next to you, right? Do you feel it hot, like there's flames, like your house is on fire? No. But if you think about it, if the average person were to just absorb all this threat of danger 24/7, I don't even know how they can survive. So the most important thing to do is to really change your viewpoint and start to filter out some of the things that you're exposed to. Recently, I started to really look at videos I was watching and different TV programs I was watching, and it just hit me how many messages of fear I was exposed to, and without any solutions. So anytime someone gives you some doom and gloom message without a solution, don't watch it. Why? Because now you're going to start solving these problems when you should be sleeping. Now, I'm definitely not saying to ignore some of these dangers, but when you are exposed to these dangers, try like heck to have a relaxed viewpoint, staying in action to help solve the problem, improve things. But at some point, we need to start filtering out this threat of danger because it's just not healthy for our bodies. That also includes the people that you hang out with. I mean, there are so many people out there. I've had people around me that would only give me bad news, okay? Never any good news. You should start watching TV programs and hang out with people that give you solutions, that emphasize the good news, talk about the good things to offset the massive danger signals that our body is constantly being fed. Now, let me just go through a couple things because this is actually a very important topic. You have the sympathetic nervous system, okay? That's the flight or fight. the protective mode that we go into for this threat of stress. And every single cell in our body changes to a whole different program. Whereas the other system, called the parasympathetic, is all about growth, sleep, digestion, repair, healing. Okay, that's a completely different program. In practice, I used to have a test. It's called a heart rate variability test that would measure how much sympathetic nervous system that was being activated versus how much parasympathetic. And boy, nearly everyone that came in were just so jacked up to the right, which is sympathetic dominance, simply because the environment that we're in was considered extremely dangerous. And I will say a certain amount of that has been manufactured. I mean, if there's not enough things going wrong, to have other people manufacturing more of that is complete insanity. So I think it's important for you to understand what happens to your biology when you are under sustained chronic stress. First of all, you're going to have less diversified microbiome, and you're going to have more pathogenic bacteria. So your entire gut microbiome changes. And all the points I'm going to mention today are based on some research on relating chronic sympathetic high cortisol stress to the various systems of your body. Let's go on to the immune system. What happens to your immune system when you have this sustained stress? It shuts down. The T cells that are normally there to protect you and kill cancer cells and kill viruses are basically put to sleep. The duration of infections take way longer. You have what's called immunosuppression. Stress suppresses the immune system. And this is why when you go to the doctor and you have inflammation or some type of autoimmune, they inject you with prednisone, which takes that away temporarily, because prednisone is a type of cortisol, which is produced by the adrenal glands, which is activated by stress, and that is suppressing all the immune reactions. And as soon as that wears off, you start getting a lot more inflammation. So stress will increase inflammation. All right, what about fertility? Do you become more fertile? No, you become less fertile. You have decreased sperm production. You have less implanting of the egg in the uterus, so you become less fertile. You usually lose your menstrual cycle. And on top of that, you lose your libido. Usually when people are stressed out, they don't have any sex drive. All right, now what happens to the fuel system in your body? Well, if you're trying to be on the ketogenic diet, your whole metabolism shifts back to glucose production. That's right, because cortisol is a glucocorticoid. So it starts to increase gluconeogenesis, the production of new sugar in your liver. So when you go through stress, okay, chronically, what's happening is you're just pumping out all this sugar that's not coming from your diet. It's coming from your proteins, the muscle proteins in your butt, the muscle proteins in your legs, and even fat and ketones are turned into glucose. And that glucose can then increase insulin and you increase your risk of getting a diabetes. Now, why is this? Because when you're in stress mode, your body needs this quick energy. What about lipids like cholesterol and things like that? This is interesting. When you go through chronic stress, your triglycerides go up, your HDL goes down, your LDL goes up. And if you had these large buoyant particle size type LDL, that's going to switch to the small dense particle size, which are the more pathogenic ones that actually can invade the arteries. So your profile for cholesterol gets much worse when you go through stress. Like I said before, having a non-serious, relaxed state of mind is so important. Now, this next one is really interesting too. Your ability to detoxify. I'm talking about these certain enzymes in your liver. They're called cytochrome P450 phase 1, phase 2 enzymes, okay? These are the enzymes that convert poisons into harmless, water-soluble things that can be released from the body. So we're going from fat-soluble poisons to harmless particles, right? Well, guess what? Those are inhibited when you go through chronic stress. Wild. So you can't detoxify that well. So you're going to hold toxins. Right? What about digestion as a whole? Well, you're going to have much slower digestion. You're not going to be able to release the bile salts from your liver, which is interesting. So there goes the fat digestion. Even your pancreatic enzymes and your enzymes from your small intestine will be inhibited, thereby cutting down your ability to digest. Your production of hydrochloric acid is going to go down too. So there goes your complete digestion of proteins, your absorption of minerals, and the killing of pathogens. Your mucus lining in the stomach, in the small intestine, and the large bowel is inhibited by this stress state as well. And that's kind of like the immune barrier. And then your overall absorption of vitamins and minerals are going to be lessened. Now, this next one is also interesting. Vitamin D absorption. There's a receptor for vitamin D called the vitamin D receptor, okay? And the reception or the absorption of vitamin D through that receptor is diminished with stress. On top of all the other barriers with vitamin D, stress will actually slow down the absorption of vitamin D. Wow. Even the fascia, kind of like the stuff that surrounds the muscles, that's highly innervated by your nerves, and your brain has a lot of information coming down to the fascia around the ligaments, around your muscles, becomes tighter, becomes more restricted. You lose your range of motion. You lose your blood flow to your fascia when you're under chronic stress. You maintain this posture right here, right? Which is kind of like in protect mode. This is your flight or fight. You know, your posture starts going down, and it all has to do with that fascia. Now, what happens to the brain when you're under chronic, sustained sympathetic nervous system overdrive? Well, the hippocampus, the structure that's involved with the relay of memories and learning and cognition, is all inhibited because that part of the brain starts to shrink. Also, it starts lowering the function of your cerebral cortex. You kind of need that part of the brain. Now, another structure is activated in your brain. And I don't know if you ever heard about the structure, but it's called the amygdala. The amygdala has everything to do with fear and anxiety, okay? It's kind of like your adrenal glands, but in the brain. So it's going to react to stress states. Now, as far as thinking in a chronic state of stress, you're not going to be really analytically thinking about things, solving problems, coming up with good solutions, being creative, having imagination. Instead, it's going to be more like reaction mode, because you need a relaxed state of mind to come up with solutions. You need your creativity to come up with really good strategies and solutions. The last point I want to bring up is your genes. What happens to your genes when you're under stress? Well, all the bad genes get activated, okay? And all the good genes get suppressed. Like I'm talking about activation of cancer genes. I'm talking about activation of inflammatory genes, things like that. But one thing I want to bring up, your genes really don't cause anything, okay? They don't cause the problems for you. It's the epigenetics, which means above genetics. It's your lifestyle that's really behind these genetics. And all you need to understand is how to turn on and turn off certain genes. And those switches are activated by certain lifestyle changes. And I cover these lifestyle changes in a lot of my videos. The genes are associated with a lot of bad things, but if you know how to control your genes, you're totally going to be in the driver's seat. Number one, we must change our attitude, our viewpoint of our environment. We must also start filtering out how much threat of danger we're exposed to. If you start watching certain videos that don't give you a solution, that at the end of the video you feel worse than before you watched the video, then you might need to filter those things out. A therapy for me is getting out in nature, getting a lot of space as much as possible, and really kind of getting connected to my environment. Now, the other thing to do is to physically flush out a lot of this extra adrenaline and this extra cortisol that has been accumulated through the day of exposure to all these things. So this means routine, consistent exercise, okay? Physical work outside. So you can start flushing out these neurotransmitters and hormones that are creating a lot of this damage, because the last thing you want to do is go through a lot of mental stress and then just go to bed at night. You're not going to sleep that well. So exercise is a necessity. I mean, I have to physically work out every single day just to kind of flush out things and help me sleep.
because the other point about the adrenaline and cortisol, it's shifting a lot of energy, okay, that should be in your immune system, should be in repair, should be in your digestion, and it's ending up in the muscles. So you have enough energy to run away from the tiger, right? But because there's no more tiger around, we have more mental energy, and that whole mechanism is still there. So you're gonna have to exercise to get those hormones out of your system. Now, that being said, there's a lot of additional things you can do to help with stress. Not as important as changing your viewpoint, but they're still important. And I put that video up right here. Check it out.
Okay, another excellent video by Dr. Eric Berg. And this one last video to wrap up the show will be about a food that I consume every day, and that is the spice clove. It has the absolute highest ORAC score, above and beyond any other food on earth. ORAC is the oxygen radical absorption capacity. It is a measurement of antioxidant ability of a food, and nothing comes close to clove. Okay, and I'll just go through this just to wrap it up. Here it is.
Ever wondered if there's a natural remedy for common health issues like toothaches, gastritis, or even depression? Well, the answer might be hidden in your kitchen cabinet. Meet clove, a tiny spice that packs a mighty punch. For centuries, this potent plant has been a cornerstone in traditional medicine, offering a natural solution to a multitude of ailments. Clove can be used in various ways. For instance, a toothache can be soothed by simply chewing and swallowing a piece of clove. Alternatively, clove oil, which is derived from the same plant, can be applied topically. This essential oil has been known to combat fungal infections when rubbed onto the scalp. But the benefits of clove extend beyond just these simple remedies. Recent research has uncovered a myriad of health benefits, from enhancing the effects of antibiotics to potentially reducing symptoms of depression. Intrigued? So let's dive deeper into the world of this tiny yet powerful spice, the clove. At the heart of clove's health benefits is a compound called eugenol. This essential oil found in clove is a powerhouse of health benefits. It's a natural numbing agent, often used for toothaches. Just think, a simple clove can offer you relief from that nagging pain, but that's not all. Eugenol also boasts anti-inflammatory properties. This means it can help soothe your body, reducing inflammation, and providing relief from ailments such as arthritis. And it doesn't stop there. Promising research suggests that eugenol may even have anti-cancer properties. Imagine a compound found in a common kitchen spice potentially playing a role in the fight against cancer, from numbing toothaches to fighting inflammation, and possibly even cancer. Eugenol is truly a remarkable compound. It's no wonder clove has been used in traditional medicine for centuries. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the benefits of clove. Did you know that clove can also do wonders for your gut health? When it comes to gastrointestinal issues, clove certainly packs a punch. One of the major issues that affect our gut health is H. pylori, a bacteria that can cause a variety of digestive problems. But fear not, as clove oil has been shown to inhibit this troublesome bacteria, providing a natural solution. But that's not all. Clove also offers relief from a range of uncomfortable conditions. Do you often struggle with peptic ulcers, gastritis, or indigestion? Clove might just be your new best friend. It has been found to improve these conditions, making meals an enjoyable experience once again. Furthermore, if gas and bloating are issues that you regularly deal with, consider turning to clove. Its potent properties can help alleviate these symptoms, allowing you to go about your day with ease and comfort. Clearly, clove is a powerful ally for maintaining a healthy gut. But clove's health benefits don't stop at the physical. It can also contribute to your mental well-being. Clove is more than just a spice. It's a powerhouse of phytonutrients, one of which is an MAO inhibitor. Now you might be wondering, what on earth is an MAO inhibitor? Well, it's a type of compound that's often used in antidepressants. It works by slowing down the breakdown of mood-enhancing chemicals in the brain, which can help alleviate symptoms of depression. What's fascinating is that clove, a natural substance, contains this very compound. That's right. This spice that you might have in your kitchen cabinet could potentially help manage mood and promote mental health. To think that this humble spice could hold such potential is truly remarkable. It's another example of how nature can provide us with powerful tools for maintaining both our physical and mental health. So, clove can potentially play a role in managing mood and promoting mental health. As with any natural remedy, it's important to use clove safely and responsibly. While clove is generally safe, there are risks associated with consuming excessive amounts of clove oil, which can lead to toxicity. Therefore, moderation is key. Certain people should also proceed with caution. If you're allergic to clove, it's best to steer clear. For those who are pregnant or lactating, it's advisable to consult with your healthcare provider before incorporating clove into your regimen. In summary, clove is a tiny yet potent spice. It's packed with beneficial phytonutrients and essential oil, eugenol, that can promote healthy body functions. It can act as a numbing agent for toothaches, enhance the effects of antibiotics, and even has potential anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. But like anything else, it's not a miracle cure-all and should be used in conjunction with other healthy lifestyle habits. So there you have it, the amazing health benefits of clove, a tiny spice with huge potential. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Okay. Well, that wraps up this week's show of Original Holistic Health Talk. I want to thank everyone for participating and stopping by. There we go. And it was a lot of fun. I thought it was. You know, thank you to the Commodore Jeff Zambello. Thank you to Ronnie S. Thank you to Brian Soup for stopping by. And we were streaming on, well, we still are until I close down the show, streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So happy holidays to all you Twitchers out there and you YouTubers. I tried streaming last night to Instagram, but that Zuckerberg, unbelievable, it didn't work. So goodbye, Instagram. Twitter's good. I mean, you know, it streams perfectly fine. It leaves a pre-recorded show on Twitter, but I just don't have the activity on Twitter. Now, on the other hand, TikTok, I have tons of activity, but I'm waiting for the company that makes this streaming program to work a deal with TikTok where TikTok will allow streaming to take place from an outside source. Okay. So that's about it. It was a great show, and I won't be going live with Original Holistic Health Talk next Sunday because it is the holiday season and I'm going away. But let's see. But I will be doing progressive discussions next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time from YouTube and Twitch. So join me then and take care. Actually, I was a little premature calling it a holiday special show, but what the hell? Hail Krampus. Hail Krampus. And happy Festivus for the rest of us, and happy winter solstice Yule. 'Tis the season. Whether I was early in wishing everybody well or not. So have a good week.